internet. Around here I go by Cat of Diamonds, and welcome to my Fannish reviews. I just finished reading Atlantia by Condie. Full disclosure, I don't want to give too many huge plot device spoilers away. However, I am going to be a teeny bit more spoilish than I usually do because I want to be honest. Before reading this book, Atlantia had two major things going for it that I would really love it or really hate it, because Atlantia, obviously, it's an aquatic-like book, as you can tell from the cover, and I am a huge water addict. I have a tattoo based on the kanji symbol for water of two dolphins, and in real life I'm a big swimmer and I teach swim lessons, and so then in my book life I really love reading about the ocean and mermaids and selkies and sirens, and while it can get a little repetitive, I can't help myself when it's a Little Mermaid-like book or something. I want to read it. I just can't help myself. So then the number two reason I was gonna have like a hard time being unbiased while reading this book is that Condie came to a local library event and gave a speech about, you know, being a writer, and then of course talked about her inspirations and reasonings behind writing Atlantia the way she wrote it. So with that knowledge going into reading the book, even though I didn't know what the book was truly about, so about Atlantia itself and not my preconceived notions of whether or not I was going to hate it or love it. Atlantia is set in the distant future, but you know, if you look around the world, not too distant future, where humans have built Atlantia, a city below, because the air quality above has been destroyed, and it's like our planet is so polluted that it's just way too toxic to live in the above. It shortens your lifespan and etc. Whereas if you live in Atlantia below, where you have this beautiful underground technology bubble city where you can breathe perfect air. It might be recycled air, but you can breathe and live beautifully in this underground society. Back when society divided who was going to stay above and who was going to go below, every family had to have a member at least go down into the below, so they had a reason to care, you know, a reason to sacrifice their lives above to work hard and help supply the below with food and materials. And it might sound a lot like the Hunger Games, the capital versus the districts of Panem, but those who live in Atlantia do have their jobs. They have to mine and send ore back up to the top. I'm getting into the technicalities of the world building, which is one thing I loved about this book. Condie builds worlds so well, and it's a standalone book, so the nice thing about this versus the Match series is that everything that's going to happen happens in this book. While this book itself is centered around Rio and her twin sister Bay, and it starts off right at the beginning at the decision where in their teens these kids get to decide if they're going to go above and live a life of sacrifice or stay below. While again that seems so similar to so many dystopias, from there this book has a total departure of what you expect would happen. This book is definitely about self-discovery with Rio, but also discovering that you're part of something larger, and then how far are you going to go to fight for it. Another major theme about this book, other than Rio's own self-discovery, it's based on family, about sisters. So not only how far you would go for yourself, but how far do you go for family? Like, when does that blood tie get cut off? With that, I don't really want to spoil too much of it. I do believe you would love this book if you love dystopian. If you're kind of past dystopian, you might not like it as much. And shelfability wise, I'm totally biased. This is going to keep forever. I bought this book at the author event, and it is signed to me by Condie, so it's definitely finding a home on my shelf if I've ever. But I would buy this book. I mean, I really enjoyed the story. Additionally, it's really pretty. I don't normally do this, but even the inside is really shiny and well designed. So if you've read Atlantia, please let me know in the comments. If you have been inspired to read Atlantia, please watch later this video and come back and tell me about it once you have. And that's about all I've got for this video. Until next time, happy reading!